When I wake up in the morning, who is in charge of brushing my teeth? I, me. As a parent, who is in charge of taking care of your children? I, me. As an employee, who is in charge of your work? I, me. As a business owner, who is in charge of your business? I, me. It's a human nature for us all to be in charge of something, be in control of something. We like to be in charge of a certain situation, place, thing, or people. That's who we are. When it comes to taking charge, we always like to step forward and be in control or be in charge, right? At the same time, why can't we be in charge of our mind? Why can't we control our emotions? Keep watching. Hello and welcome to my channel Shine with Shobs. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe for more new videos on staying healthy and thinking healthy. This channel is all about inspiring one another and building each other up. How can we be in charge of our emotions and mind is by consciously putting the time and effort in understanding our own emotions, understanding why and where those emotions are coming from. If we can consciously put those time and effort, we can do it. Now let's take an example of a parent and a child, okay? So the parent asks the child to study for 2 hours, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the child says, okay, mom, I will do my work. I'll do 1 hour math and 1 hour reading. And the child goes to the room. In between, mom comes to check on the child. So when mom comes to check on the child, what she sees is the child is on the phone instead of studying. So what happens? Mom gets frustrated. The anger triggers. And in that process, mom really cares for the child, right? Mom is feeling in charge of the child. So out of care, when this anger comes in, it triggers and it makes her raise her voice and say mean things which she doesn't mean to. So at that moment, you become that weak person in front of the child. And you don't want to do that because you are hurt and you are hurting the child as well. You want to be in a much stronger position. By raising your voice, you may think that you are controlling, you may think that you are in charge of that situation, but instead what happens is you are putting yourself down. You become that weak person. So at that moment, you need to just stop, consciously stop. When those frustrations, when those anger triggers, you need to consciously stop. Tell the child, I see that you're on phone. I thought you're going to study. We need to talk. Let's talk later. And then walk away. Walk away from that situation because you don't want to be that mean person. You don't want to get that frustration and anger in your system and blurt out. So instead, just say, we will talk, and then walk away. And I'm not saying that you can't be frustrated or angry. Yes, those are the real emotions that you feel, and we all tend to get frustrated or angry. It's okay, but we need that space, not in front of that child. We will walk away, have our own space, and went out. Get mad, get angry, get frustrated. It's fine. You need to let it out. Let it out and think through. Then pick a time, go back, talk to the child, ask all those right questions. Make the child answer so that the child understands why you were angry. So that make the child understands that you care for the child. Make the child understand the value of the time. Make the child understand why it's important to study during that time. Focus during that time. So this way, you are consciously making an effort to control your emotions and being in charge of your mind. By doing that, you are in much more stronger position, and the child starts looking up to you. And you are now recognizing your own inner strength, your own inner power, and the child also understands you even more better. See, the way we can consciously start taking care of our emotions, start controlling our emotions, you can be in charge of your mind. Let's take another example. You have a project due tomorrow, okay? And today when you wake up, you know that you're going to spend time working on that project, but at the same time you have so much other chores. You need to take care of your child, you need to cook, take care of the household chores. But in your mind you might think, hey, I can do this. I can take care of my children, take care of the chores, and also take care of the project. So what happens in that process is you do all those tasks, and when you sit down to work on that project, you just realize that you're running out of time and you are unable to finish. So at that time, the frustration and anger builds. And at that time, what happens is, instead of focusing on your project, you tend to be mad. You tend to be mad on your child. You tend to be mad on your spouse. You tend to be angry on yourself. Then, rushing through that project, you just submit it, and you tend to be that weak person in front of your boss as well. So instead of that, prioritize that I need to take care of this project right now. I'm going to focus this first, and then the rest of the things later. So talk to your child, talk to your spouse, do what needs to be done, and make it clear that you are going to focus on this project from this time to this time, no matter what, because you are good at it and you want to present yourself well in front of your boss. So that way you are taking care of your emotions, you are being in charge of your mind, you're putting that conscious thought, what is important, what's not, and recognize what might trigger later. You don't want to trigger those frustrations and anger, and we tend to blame it on others. Always when we are frustrated, we tend to blame it on others. We don't take control of our emotions and be in charge of our own mind. So this is how, when we start prioritizing certain things, we will be able to take control of our own internal, emotions that's going through. Let's take another example. You're arguing with your spouse. Okay, at that moment, if you are holding something, and when the frustration or anger triggers your mind, what happens is you want to throw things. People do. When they are frustrated, when they are angry, you don't know what you're holding or what you're about to say. You don't know. You just want to vent out. You just want to burst because you are hurt. Why are you hurt? Because there are certain expectations. It's a human nature. There are certain expectations that you expect from your child, that you expect from your spouse, or you expect from your employee. And when that expectation doesn't meet the way you want, the frustration builds, anger comes into play, and then you just burst. And at that moment, you don't know what you're going to say, and whatever you're holding, you want to just throw it away. Deep down, you care for certain things and you get angry. Deep down, you don't want the other person to act in a certain way. That's why you are getting angry. But when that frustration or anger triggers at that moment, we just tend to say whatever or throw whatever. So now you are going to ask me, how can you work on your mind and work towards your emotions? Let me give you another example. If you're a student and you aspire to be a creator, artist, doctor, or an entrepreneur, business owner, whatever it is, you aspire to be someone, and what you do, you tend to put the time and effort towards that goal. So the same way, when you want to be in charge of your mind, you can put time and effort towards your own emotions, towards your own internal emotions, to understand, recognize, and work towards it, and you can be in charge of your mind. Think about it. Our brain on a daily basis consciously picks up those words, picks up those actions, picks up those things that we want to put it in our mind. So when a certain thing, actions, or situations, repeatedly happens, our mind picks up and stores it. The same way, when those negative emotions triggers you, and when you tend to go out of control, what you can do is try to control it by stopping yourself. Train your mind and say, hey, stop. I'm not going to say the things that I don't mean. Hey, stop. I'm not going to throw the things that I'm holding. Maybe it's a glass, maybe it's papers, but I'm not going to throw it. Hey, I'm going to control myself. Stop. Walk away. Went out. Come back. Talk. That's the strategy that you're going to use. But you have to work on it. You have to put time and effort to work on it, because it's not going to happen in a day. It's not in your system yet. The way our brain consciously takes things over and over and over, it puts it in our subconscious mind, and that's what we think who we are, right? Go have your own space, vent it out, then come back and talk. Be strong and talk. That's how you're going to control your emotions and be in charge of your mind. If you like this piece of mind, please comment, like, or share, and recognize your inner strength. Be in charge of your mind. Stay healthy, think healthy, and don't forget to shine with Shobs.